Welcome back to my channel. I am the Crochet Hermit. In today's video, we are making an easy crochet V-stitch scarf. This is a great project for scrap yarn. I'm using 3 colors, but you can use as many colors as you like. Grab your first color. Let's make a slip knot. Hang your yarn over your hand and twist it. Stick your thumb through the top hole, and where that arrow is pointing, pull that string through the hole. You can slow the video down in settings if you need to. Now we're going to chain up. To chain up, you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to continue to yarn over, pull up a loop, which is chaining. Continue chaining until you have a total of 28 chains. This is the width of your scarf. I am finished with my 28 chains, and this is what it looks like. Flip your chains over to the back where the bumps are. We will be working in the back bumps. Inside the second bump from the hook, I'm going to show you what the second bump is. This right here is your second bump. We are going to insert our hook and place a single crochet. Insert your hook inside the second bump. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You will have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. And that is how you work a single crochet. You are going to continue to place single crochets inside every single bump for the rest of this row. I will have a tutorial linked at the bottom in the description on how to crochet the main stitches if you need it. You should have a total of 27 stitches when you are finished with row number 1. I have finished working my 27 stitches for round 1, and this is what it looks like. Now we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to begin round 2. Inside this very first stitch, we are going to place 1 double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook inside that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops, and that is how you double crochet. Once again, I have a tutorial on how to crochet linked at the bottom in the description. We are going to skip that very next stitch. As you see on the screen, I marked it with an X to let you know that's the stitch that you're skipping. And inside the stitch after that, we are going to place a V-stitch. Now in order to work a V-stitch, we are going to place 2 double crochets inside 1 stitch. Yarn over and insert your hook into that stitch and place a double crochet. This is my first double crochet inside that stitch. Yarn over and work your second double crochet inside that same stitch. And you've just worked your first V-stitch of this row. It should look like this. Remember, 2 double crochets inside 1 stitch is a V-stitch. We are skipping this next stitch. Inside the stitch after that, we are going to place a V-stitch. Remember, a V-stitch is 2 double crochets inside the same stitch. I have completed my second V-stitch. We are going to continue the pattern of skipping one stitch and then placing a V-stitch inside the next stitch. We will repeat this all the way down until we reach our very last stitch. I will meet you back at the last stitch to show you how to end this row. I have finished working all of my V-stitches. I made it to the very end, and as you see, I have 2 stitches left. If you happen to have 1 stitch left, if you chain a different amount than me, that's okay. But inside the very last stitch, we are going to place a double crochet. It doesn't matter if you have 1 stitch left or if you have 2 stitches left. We are still placing 1 double crochet inside that very last stitch. And guys, I do respond to comments, so if you get lost or need any help, just comment down below. Chain 1 and turn your work. We have made it to row number 3. Inside that very first stitch, we are going to place 1 double crochet. This round is going to be worked a little bit differently than the last round. Inside that V-stitch from our previous row, right in the middle, that space where the arrow is, we will be placing a V-stitch. So in that space, we are going to place 2 double crochets, because remember, a V-stitch is 2 double crochets. This is my first double crochet in the space. This is my second double crochet. Now when I say space or middle, that's just the middle of the previous V-stitch. It should look like this. And we're going to continue doing that all the way down. So inside this next V-stitch in the middle, I'm going to place another V-stitch. This is my first double crochet. And this is my second double crochet. And now I'm going to continue working V-stitches in the space of the previous V-stitches all the way down until I reach my last stitch. And I will meet you back at the end to show you how I finish this round. I've made it to the very end. As you see, I have no more spaces left to work in. So all that's left to do is to place 1 double crochet inside that very last stitch. And row number 3 is complete. It should look like this. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now row number 4 is going to be worked the same way we did the last row. You are going to place 1 double crochet inside your very first stitch. And then how we did in the previous row, we will be working our V-stitches inside the spaces of our previous V-stitch. Continue working V-stitches all the way down until you reach your very last stitch. We are changing colors at the end of this row, and now we'll meet you back at the last stitch to show you how to change your color. I have finished working my V-stitches. Now we're going to place our 1 double crochet inside the last stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Now before we finish the last step, we are going to grab our next color. I'm grabbing this pretty purple. You can use whatever color you want to. Take your second color and put it on your hook. Make sure you have a long tail so you can weave that in at the end. And now you can finish the last step of your double crochet by pulling that new color through the last 2 loops. And as you see, your new color is on your hook now. And now you can chain 1. Make sure you are chaining 1 with your new color and not your previous color. You should have 2 strings. We need to cut the end of our first color. Go ahead and grab your scissors. Make sure you leave a long enough string so you can weave it in. Now we're going to grab both strings and tie them together. We already chained 1, so all we have to do is turn our work. For row number 5, nothing has changed. We're going to work the row as we normally would. The only difference is we are working with a different color. We are placing 1 double crochet inside our first stitch. And then we're going to work V-stitches all the way down like we normally do. When you are finished with your V-stitches, don't forget inside the last stitch, we are placing 1 double crochet. Row number 5 is now complete, and now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. We are chaining 1 in between all of our rows. And that is pretty much all there is to it. You are placing 1 double crochet inside your first stitch, working V-stitches all the way down until you reach your last stitch. And then inside your last stitch, you are placing 1 double crochet. Don't forget to chain 1 in between your rows. For me, I'm going to be changing colors every 3rd row. I'm going to work 2 more rows off camera. And then at the end of row 7, I'll meet you back to show you when I changed into my 3rd color so you can see what that looks like. I have made it to the end of round 7 and I have 1 stitch left. And that is the stitch we are going to be changing colors in. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my 3rd color, which is this white yarn. Now we are going to work our 1 double crochet inside that last stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the last stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. And now you grab your 3rd color, put it on your hook, and then pull that yarn through the last 2 loops. And now we are going to chain 1 with our new color, our 3rd color. Go ahead and grab your scissors so you can cut the yarn, which is the color from your last row. Make sure you have a long enough tail to weave in, and then go ahead and tie those 2 strings together. And that is all there is to it. I'm going to continue working 3 rows, and then I'm going to change the color, work 3 more rows and change the color, all the way until you have a total of 157 rows. You do not have to work as many rows as me. I just prefer a very long scarf. If you prefer your scarf to be shorter, you can work less rows. I will meet you back when I'm finished with all my rows. Row 3 and how to change the color will be timestamped at the bottom if you need it. I've worked all 7 of my rows. As you can see, it's very long. Now to finish our project, all we're going to do is work our last row, which is going to be a row of single crochets. I'm going to place single crochets inside every single stitch for the rest of this row. And I will meet you back when I'm finished with all my single crochets. I am finished with this row and it should look like this. And now we are going to chain 1. Make sure you leave a long enough tail, grab your scissors and cut the end. And then pull your hook through, tug on that string, make sure it's nice and tight. Lastly, we are going to weave in our ends, which is all these strings that you see from when we were changing colors. Grab your needle, grab any string you want to, and insert that string into your needle. Now we're going to take the needle and slide it in between the stitches because the goal is to hide the string in between the stitches. We're going to slide it down at least 3 or 4 of the double crochets. Then we're going to pull the needle completely through. Now with that string, we are going to take our needle and split that string in half so that that one string will become 2 strings. Now that we have our 2 strings, we're going to take one of the 2 strings and put it back into our needle. And anywhere close, we're just going to slide our needle through one of the stitches. And now we're going to take both of the strings and tie them together a couple of times. Make sure you tie them nice and tight. And then we're going to grab our scissors and we're going to cut these strings. And then to hide that knot, I like to take my scissors or the back of the needle and just hide it in between the stitches. And that is all there is to it. You would do this process to all of your strings. And I'm going to work the rest of my strings off camera. If you need to rewatch this, I will have it timestamped at the bottom. And I will meet you back when I'm finished weaving in the rest of my strings. This is the final result after weaving in all my ends. And you have just completed your cute V-stitch scarf. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please tag me in your finished work. I'd love to see it. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comments.